Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the course calendar for this class and talk a little bit about what the expectation is for various assignments that we are going to have. Because what you're going to notice in this class is there are certain assignments that you are going to turn into me. And for those assignments, I'm going to take a look at them, I'm going to grade them, I'm going to give you feedback, I'm going to answer questions, and all those fun sorts of things. But there are also assignments that you need to do that I'm not going to collect for a grade. But if you expect to be successful in here and learn the material, you need to do those assignments. And so the calendar reflects both of these. And so it's actually probably a little more detailed than what your Canvas to-do list is going to be, because not all of these would necessarily be in your Canvas to-do list, but you need to keep them in mind. So I'm going to first draw your attention to everything not bolded on the calendar. So you'll notice right here on Monday, it says read over information in Module 1. Module 1 has a bunch of background information on what the class expectations are. I'm not giving you a grade for reading over it, but you need to read over it so that you sort of know what the class expectations are. Similarly, you'll notice on Wednesday it talks about you should work through the lesson PowerPoint and maybe watch some of the videos on our Module 2 on covariation. Again, I'm not giving you points for doing that, but that's where the learning is going to occur. Those are your examples. Those are sort of the problems to think through. And then you'll notice a bunch of what are known as CYUs. And I'm going to talk a little more about this in my sort of intro to Module 2, but that's basically your practice problems. And within each of those, there are videos and worked out solutions. So you go practice, you go check the videos, and again, it's your chance to learn the math. What I'm then going to collect from you are these sort of notes and reflections. You're going to take all of that learning and you're going to summarize it in a note sheet and you're going to reflect on it and then you're going to turn that in. And so it's sort of showing me that you got the big ideas from the lesson and you sort of understood what you needed to understand and that you can sort of sum up everything in a single page. So that's one type of assignments. You'll notice those throughout the calendar are sort of highlighted in blue. Those are going to be your notes, your reflections, and sort of other activities that don't fit elsewhere. Another type of assignment you're going to have every module are discussion questions. Those are going to be student run. And again, I'll talk a little more in depth about them in another video. But you'll notice that there's a DQ to part 1. And so part 1 would be your initial post. And so I would expect you to have your initial post by Friday this week. But then there's a DQ2 part 2, and there is a second part to every discussion question. You're going to reply to some of your peers with some substantial replies, and then you're also going to reflect on your own post and correct it if necessary, so that you can make sure that you sort of have a better understanding of the concept. And those are actually sort of one grade, but split over 2 sort of separate assignments so that you have enough time to do your initial post. Other people have done them, you got a chance to read through them and then reply. And then in purple, you're going to see all your module quizzes as well as your quests. So every module is going to have a short little quiz, your chance to check, do you understand what you were supposed to? It's a chance for me to give you some feedback on where you might have gone wrong or what learning you sort of still need to do. And so you'll see those in purple on the calendar. And then you'll notice right away some, more you need to do this. And these obviously with the non-bolded text, that's when I would recommend you do it. Do you have to work through the Module 3 activity on the 29th? No. But your notes and reflections for Module 3 are due on the 30th. So it might be a good idea to get started on that activity on the 29th so you have sort of enough time to process the information before you sort of sum it up in a note sheet for me. And so you'll notice that sort of trend continues until we have this sort of first quest here down at the end of September 26th. And a quest is sort of, it's not a full-length exam, but it's going to be a little longer than our weekly quizzes, and it's putting together multiple modules. So this first quest is on sort of all of Unit 1. It's take home, it's open note, but it's just sort of generally, can you sort of combine all that information that you learned in modules 2 through 6? And then we keep that going. And then you'll notice in red, and it's red because it's super important and a huge part of your grade, is when the midterm is going to be offered. And yes, it is in person. Even though this is an online class, the expectation is that you will be taking the midterm and the final exam in person. I will be posting more information about this closer to the date. There will be some different times throughout that day in which you can schedule to take your midterm. And the same is going to be true for the final exam in December. Again, there'll be several times throughout December 12th in which you can schedule your midterm. Be aware, this is a Google document, a calendar, and I keep it a Google document because due dates may change. Hopefully I will update them in the calendar, but the best place, obviously, due dates for assignments that are going to be turned in, the correct due date will always be on Canvas, even if I forgot to update the calendar. But I would highly recommend that you make sure you take a look at this calendar and think about when those important big dates are. When is that quest? Because you'll have a limited time in which to do that, and sort of when are things going to be due. There is going to be several due dates throughout the week just to sort of keep you paced and on track to being successful in this class. If you have any questions about this or aren't sure or don't understand something, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm here to answer your questions and be, there to support you in your learning journey.